Bonjour les étudiantes et bienvenue à la classe de semaine 25. So anyways, first off, this is probably the last video you're going to be seeing because the plan is to return next week. Everything should be good for me to come back. So hopefully that is the plan. So that's currently the plan. Anyways, before we get started, you know you want to see her. And she's kind of awake, though she was just sleeping. So here she is. Say hi, Gemma. Say bonjour. Oh, see, she's waving. Did you see that? She totally was waving at you guys. And she's totally making eye contact. I just want to let you know that's pretty awesome. Anyways, so if you hear weird noises, it's her making noises like she is right now. So anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. First off, time. So if you remember, we learned this at last week. So when you're asking, it's quelle heure est-il? And of course, whenever you're responding, it's il est and then the time that it is. So remember, the French use the 12 and 24-hour clock. 12 hours more common for whenever you're talking to your friends and family. 24 hours for official announcement, appointments, and used to avoid ambiguity, which means that they use it a whole lot more frequently than we do. Remember, that's because they don't have AM and PM in French. It's du matin in the morning, de l'après-midi in the afternoon, or du soir in the evening, which makes things really interesting. So that's what's going on there. Now you'll remember, like I just said, whenever we're talking about talking about time, we say il est and then the time. So this would be, if I were to have big hand here, little hand here, il est une heure, or il est 12 heures. Oh, sorry, this should be plural. For some reason, that was not changed. Whenever it's on the half hour, it's et demi. Remember that e is féminin, and midi et minuit are both masculin, so they don't have the E on demi. So, you know, if it's 11:30, il est 11h30. That should also be an S. I'm sorry. I don't know why this slide is messed up. Anyways, it's noon, il est midi et demi. Or if it's almost the time, you can say il est presque minuit. That way you don't have to be like super specific if you don't want to be. We already covered AM and PM, du matin, de l'après-midi, and du soir, which is why, of course, they use the 24-hour clock sometimes. And whenever you want to ask when something is, the best way to do it is use à quelle heure, and then ask the thing that you want to know. So, à quelle heure commence le film? What time is the movie? Or, à quelle heure commence la classe? What time does class start? Hopefully you aren't asking that question at this point since it's week 25. Anyways, whenever you're doing it, it would be and then you say the time. Gemma is very disappointed that you have to do that, but you know, c'est la vie, Gemma, c'est la vie. Now, an important thing to remember is how they tell time with the 12-hour clock, which is right here, you see. And that is, if you remember, we split the clock in half, and everything on this side is the hour, the current hour, plus however many minutes it is, which means that this side, does anybody remember? What's this side? If you said the next hour minus the minutes, then you're right. So this is always current plus next hour minus. So if you have, let's see, let's just go with 9:15. We'll go with the 9 o'clock hour. So we have 9:15. It's going to be il est 9h15, because the court is ici. If it's 9:25, then it's il est 9h25. So you just say what the time is. If it's demi, obviously this is the deciding, or the point where everything changes, so it will be il est 9h30. However, if you go to 31, 31, then it becomes il est 10 heures moins. And then you'd have to figure out, so it's actually 29. So il est 10 heures moins 29. And everybody would know what you're talking about. Even though in America we'd be like, doing the math backwards in our heads, they're completely used to it, which is part of the reason why I want to make sure that you are used to it, because you could run into it one day and it could be a major problem for you if you don't know it. If it was 9:45, it would be il est 10 heures moins le quart, so minus the quarter. Remember, it's le quart, and then there's no le in this one. If it's 9:55, it would be il est 10 heures moins 5, and then of course, when the time changes, when it's o'clock, then it's il est 9 heures. And there you go. That's the most important thing to remember. So yes, I know it's difficult and it's kind of a pain in the butt, but it's good to know how to do. All right, so quick review of l'impératif, which we learned last week as well. Remember, this is whenever you're doing commands. In English, it'd be the imperative. And it's something that we use all the time. Like, hey, listen to this song. You don't say, hey, you, listen to this song. You drop it. And so it's an imperative, or l'impératif en français. So en français, if it was, hey, listen to this song, it would be, if I'm talking to all of you, because that would be the vous form, it would be écoutez à la chanson. So it would be écoutez, listen, just like in the example here, and then I would tell you what to listen to. And you can use this in all kinds of different situations. So you can do it in nice ways, like, allons au restaurant, let's go to the restaurant, parce que j'ai faim, because I'm hungry. Or you can use it whenever somebody's annoying you. So, par exemple, no, this is a two form, so remember, you'd have to make it arrêter if it's more than one. Please don't use this with somebody in authority that you would vous, because that would be horrible. But anyways, arrête de parler, stop talking, things like that. Now, remember, there is one weird thing about that, and that is if you have a regular ER verb, you're going to drop the S. Mr. Two is not going to walk with his dog S for a change. So it's just regard, which is why this is arrête instead of avec un S. So important thing to remember, because otherwise it can get really confusing. Everything else stays the same, so you don't have to worry about it. Now there are two irregulars that I want to make sure that you know, because you do run into them. You will see them in other places. So we have avoir and être, because you knew two of them were going to misbehave and you knew it had to be those two, because they're always the ones that are the worst. Anyways, for two, it's a, ayant, ayez. For être, it's soit, soyons, soyez. And these are situations where you'd be like, have patience, have a cookie, a biscuit, because sometimes you just need a cookie, for crying out loud. Or you're telling somebody, sois gentil, or sois sage, as they would say to their children over there, which is essentially their equivalent of be good, sois sage, or you know, whatever it is that you need to do. But you're going to run into these a fair amount. So make sure that you know these guys, because they are very handy. Now, what about when it's negative? Obviously, we're going to follow the same rule that we always do, which is the ne pas comes around the conjugated verb. So in this case, in this example, let's not drink too much coffee, which this is café au lait, by the way, au Québec. C'est fantastique. Anyways, it would be ne buvons pas trop de café. Let's not drink too much coffee. And notice, remember when we were learning about different phrases that have to do with quantities? Trop de café? You like it? You like it? So yeah, so notice ne pas is around buvons because buvons is our conjugated verb, and of course it's for nous. I didn't need to write that. Oh well. Anyways, then of course don't wait for dessert because that is a phrase that everybody wants to hear. Just go ahead and eat the cookie because you don't have to wait for dessert. Anyways, attendez is going to be our conjugated verb, and attendez means wait. Notice it's for vous. And of course, ne pas is going to go around it. So, ne pas. Now notice that, of course, we did the apostrophe thing because ne attendez is awful. And so they don't do that, they do the apostrophe thing. So, n'attendez pas le dessert. Don't wait for dessert. And there you go. That's your quick overview of everything. If you have questions, if you need help with any of this, let me know. And also, you can let me know next week. So I will see you guys soon. And have a wonderful, wonderful week. Au revoir.